and that kind of thing. So what we want for you is to hurt in the short term, not the long term, so that you win in the long term. If you're going to choose pain today that gives you the long-term result.
Yes.
The Bible says no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness.
And
so the way I'm going to say that is wah, or suck it up, buttercup, or it's the same thing.
Well, and honestly,
live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now, this is a little slightly different video that I'm going to react to. This is Dave Ramsey talking to the audience, giving up his spiel about financial plans that do matter. He gives a brutal wake-up call on pleasure versus pain, plan versus no plan, making this conversation deeper, and giving a brutal reality check to where it probably hurts, but needs to be said. Breaking it down on Debt Disaster Daily. Subscribe for more financial chaos. Let's jump in.
There's a thing in psychology called cognitive dissonance, which means that you are stressed and there's a frustration level building up because things are inconsistent in your emotions and in your brain. Frustration, anger, all these types of high energy emotions start to appear.
Fear.
Fear.
Stress.
And when you have that around money and you see a quick way out, like selling your house to pay off all your debt, it tells you I can make all of this psychological pain, cognitive dissonance, go away if I just sold the house. So we're always looking for, human nature is to look for the quickest way away from the pain. It is not always the best methodology for your long-term health. The quickest way away from the pain after surgery is not doing physical therapy, because physical therapy is painful. But if you don't do physical therapy after a knee or an elbow or a shoulder, it won't work. It'll freeze up. You have a problem. So you have to lean into the pain to get the best long-term result, and that's usually true with money. So what's painful you pick the short-term pain and the long-term gain in any money equation, it's almost always the right one, versus the short-term gain and the long-term pain. Mm-hmm. There's always a trade-off. So if you sell your most expensive asset, your home, it's very mathematically expensive to move. It's emotionally expensive to move. It's relationally expensive to move. It's the biggest disruption you can cause to happen automatically in your life, short of some kind of a tragedy.
Especially if the house is not even paid off. And especially if you don't know where you want to move to. You can move to a different state, sure. You can move to somewhere cheaper, sure. But that means that cost of living is cheaper. That means that finding a different job, a different field, it's all complex. That's why you got to be sure whether you want to make this move or not. Is it painful? Of course it is. But the question is it going to be even more painful if you were to make this move or not? But if it is going to be painful, knowing that you're in pain right now, then what's the point?
And so it's the last thing we tell you to do. Now, if you've got a house payment that's 60% of your take-home pay, we're going to tell you to sell it, regardless of the pain, because it's not sustainable. But just looking for a quick way out of your debt and cashing in your retirement and having a huge penalty and tax bill is a short-term release for a long-term stupid move.
Yep.
Selling your home often is a short-term release, becomes long-term stupid. Because now you don't own a piece of real estate anymore. Real estate starts going up and you've boxed yourself out of the market because you're renting in your old hometown in that guy's case. So when we say suck it up, buttercup, play through, it's for your good, because 10 years from today, it's going to be the best decision to not go through a home move. Now, again, if you have to, it's different. But
if you want to, right? If they were talking about it.
Don't like the house.
Yes.
I hate this area. I don't want to live in this state anymore.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yep.
That's a good point. But don't do it as the quick fix, as basically the sole motivation, because I'm tired and I don't want to work extra. No, work extra, be tired. It's worth it. 10 years from today, you'll be glad you did. The 10-year from now version of you will like the current version of you better.
And
if you will pay a price to win.
Yeah, and I think what he said, or what she said he said, to a degree is very relatable, that he's working his butt off and it's just going to payments. Like, it's different if you work hard and you make all this extra money, you get to do fun stuff with it. But when you're in that season of sacrifice, allowing that to be a driver too, of like, I am pissed. That's why even like selling the cars, it's like, okay, when you do the math, you're like, okay, what if I got a $5,000 car and $5,000? How much extra was I having to work for that $5,000 that was sitting in in truck equity that could be to this, right? Like, you got to be thinking about it. And that starts to like really mess with you. And you actually see the hours I'm working, if I could sell an asset to save on a day of working, I'll do that all day. Like, we'll just keep moving stuff.
Could she drive a $4,000 minivan instead of a $16,000 minivan? And because she's got more kids than, there are kids everywhere.
Yeah.
And, that kind of thing. So what we want for you is to hurt in the short term, not the long term, so that you win in the long term. If you're going to choose pain today that gives you the long-term result.
Yes.
The Bible says no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. And so the way I'm going to say that is wah, or suck it up, buttercup, or it's the same thing.
Well, and honestly,
it's like people fail to understand that if you suffer for 5 years, you'll have 50 years or whatever, how many years you live, of freedom, happiness, in a way, relief, that you're not going to go through much pain any longer. But no, people choose to be happy now, and they realize that, I f***ed up. Now I'm in pain for like God knows how long. What, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Yeah, not worth it.
Live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else.
Yeah, the short term, right? Sell if they sold the house, and that's the gain is short term. But long term, you think about it, the dynamic of even moving to his hometown that she wasn't crazy about could be long term pain in a bitterness in her of like, oh my gosh, we got stuck in this small town that I didn't want to be at the first place. We made that move 4 years ago, right? You're doing it all out of desperation, not out of clear-headedness and desire for both, and that's a red flag for me.
What feels good in the moment is seldom the right financial decision. It feels good to impulse a brand new car and put nothing down and lease it and drive it off the lot. Long term, it's one of the dumbest things you can do. It feels good in the moment to buy something you can't afford, to eat something you don't need to eat. It feels good in the moment, but the long-term consequences to your health and your financial wealth are real. And so that's the trade-off we human beings make. The ability to delay pleasure for a greater good is the primary sign, psychologists tell us, of emotional and spiritual maturity. Can I look at a great future and pay a painful price to get to the great future? That's maturity. Learning to delay pleasure. I was watching a piece of research the other day on one of the podcasts that I follow. I can't even think which one it was. One of the psychologists that's out there. And they were talking about this study they did of 7-year-old kids. And they put them in a room, and they put 3 marshmallows in the middle of the plate. And they said, do not eat the marshmallow. And they walked out of the room with, 2-sided mirrors and cameras and everything, and watched them sit there. 100% of the 8-year-olds ate the marshmallows. However, some of them went, 10 seconds. Some of them went 10 minutes before they ate it. The ones that went 10 minutes, they studied them 15 and 20 years later, and they were inordinately more successful because they delayed. They had even at 7 or 8 years old, they had the
personality.
They had the discipline to avoid something that is harmful.
Is that nature or nurture? Did they learn that in a household, or you think that's part of your personality?
I have no idea. I do know this. Regardless of how you got there, once you're there, it's a choice. Mm-hmm. Whether DNA got you there or your mom and daddy got you there, once you're sitting in front of the marshmallow, it's still your choice.
You still have the ability. It's so true.
You still have a choice. I mean, so it's, we do know now, for instance, that some people have a genetic predisposition to being alcoholics more than others, right? But once you know that, then you still got to take a drink or not take a drink.
Right, right.
You got to decide: am I gonna do this or not? And so who falls off the wagon, who doesn't fall off the wagon. All these things this is all tied to this emotional maturity thing of delaying pleasure for a greater good. And it really is maturity. Sometimes we see it in a young person. We have a 19-year-old call in here with the numbers are just astronomically, amazingly positive, right? We're like, how did you do that at 19? And we're all aghast at how wonderful this 19-year-old is. And we get that call on this show fairly often because we get those kinds of 19-year-olds around here.
All right, guys, I'm just going to end it right here. Moral of the story, well, delayed gratification is a great thing. Disciplining yourself is also great. Discipline for 5 years to be happier for the rest of your life. I think that's a great ROI, if anything. Pay the debt now, and then you'll be a lot more financially free later on. You'll have more time to invest, or you have more money to invest. You have more money to save up. You'll have more money, more opportunities will come the more you have. So why not take that risk? Thank you guys for watching. This is Debt Disaster Daily. Subscribe for more financial chaos. I know there's like 90%, 95% of y'all watching who have yet to subscribe. So comment down below, share your thoughts, like the video, and subscribe. And we're out.